Hello, welcome into another edition of Inside Athletics presented by Alabama Power. I'm John Matthews today, joined by head softball coach Kimball Cassady. We have a little softball season preview, hard to believe, but season gets going on Friday. It's right around the corner, exciting times, and Coach, appreciate you being here.
Thank you, appreciate y'all having me here today, so I'm just looking forward to the season.
Well, it's year two for you, and you came in and had an immediate impact. I remember we had our season preview last year, and you said that your goal was to win 40 games, and you guys came pretty close. You won 34 games in your first year. You were one game shy of winning the SoCon regular season. You make a run in the tournament, so a really successful first season. What are your expectations for year two?
Well, I think the kids set the tone last year. I think they set the standard, and so they know what it takes now to get to where we were. And so, you know, people always say we had a great season last year. We did. We had a really good season. We turned things around. But in our minds, that was not the expectation we had set forth for us. So, you know, our goal is still the same, 40 wins. And in our minds, we should have been that team right there in the conference championship game and being the team that's playing in the regional at Alabama. So, you know, those are our expectations for right now. We've got a tough schedule, but I think we can get there.
Well, you came in last year and you really almost had to build the roster from scratch. You didn't really inherit a lot, so it was a young team last year. It'll be a young team this year as well, but you really had to build a pitching staff. You inherited no pitchers last year when you came in, and you guys did a great job with that. Mac Newcomb and Jordan Partain both had great years. Newcomb, freshman of the year. They're not going to sneak up on anybody this year, obviously. Newcomb is the preseason pitcher of the year. Partain's an all-SoCon preseason selection. And how does that group, how do those two girls take another step in year two?
Well, I think they have to really rely on hitting their spots. I mean, that's really important for them. Mac is one of those kids that's right around the zone all the time, and she spins it really well. Same as Partain. She's a little bit slower, but she also hits her spots really well. So I think for them, as long as they are doing that, they're going to be fine. And I'm telling you, our pitching staff's going to be really strong this year. We've got some new kids in there that can really, really contribute. So I'm really excited to see what they can do, because it also keeps Jordan and Mac from having to carry on the load so much. And so it'll be good on their arms, and it'll save them, and especially when we get towards the conference series time.
Yeah, who are some of the other faces we might see in the circle?
Lainey Baker is a freshman kid that's going to be really surprising people, I think. She's got a really good rise ball, and when her changeup's working, she's really, really hard to hit. And we've got a bunch of other kids too, like Chloe Pauls and Taylor Harris. Those kids are going to really contribute too in the circle.
Well, you do have a decent amount of the lineup coming back from last year, but obviously you have a couple key departures as well that you got to replace, and we can start with the left side of the infield, that dynamic duo, MK Tedder, Timberland Sherba. Hard to replace both offensively and defensively. What's the plan for the left side of the infield?
Well, you know, I think the two that kind of played behind those two last year really had to grow and learn. So I think last year getting a lot of repetition and learning behind those two is going to really help the Greer and Ainsley step in and take on a role right there. And we've got some good backups there too. So, you know, I think they had to grow and learn in that season, and you see the maturity in both of them this year. So I think it's gonna be all right.
A couple other veterans you have to replace as well: Amanda Briskin, Colby Holcomb, who started at catcher every game last year. And again, you have a really young team. You've only got one senior, America, who's the only senior. You only have 4 upperclassmen. From a leadership perspective, I mean, do you see some of that sophomore class maybe stepping into a little bit of a leadership role?
Yeah, they're going to have to. You know, I think Merritt does a phenomenal job of leading our team. She's a super special kid, and she understands. She's been here for 4 straight years and has seen good and the bad. And so she does a great job of leading our team. But I think she also helps those younger kids understand what we're trying to get to, and kind of pushes them and leads them. So we've got a lot of younger kids that are going to have to step up and take on that role too. Yeah,
15 total underclassmen out of the 19 girls on your roster, 7 freshmen. You mentioned a couple that we might see in the circle. Any other freshmen that we might see make an early impact?
We've got a lot, you know. It's kind of hard to tell right now. I really think Lainey Baker's going to shine. You know, we've got a lot of speed too. A lot of those young kids have a lot of speed, so it's going to be nice if we can get them on, that they can somehow cause some havoc on the base paths and stuff like that. So that's kind of going to be our motto this year. We've got to really find a way to push some runs and be kind of think out the box kind of thing.
One addition to the coaching staff as well, TJ Dixon, who Samford fans very familiar with him.
Right.
Played baseball here, spent some time in the Twins organization. He's been a broadcaster for us. He's been a baseball coach. Now he's a softball coach. Obviously, he's got a good reputation as a hitting instructor. What has he brought to your program so far?
TJ is so good. I mean, he really knows his things about when it comes to the offensive side of things, and he's just really, really good about working one-on-one with our kids, and he's really incorporating, like, it's not necessarily new things, but just in a different way. And you can see that stuff now. They're starting to buy into it, and we're seeing results from it. So he's been a great addition to our team, and I think it's going to really pay off. Especially, it's going to maybe take some bumps in the road to start with, but I think once we get in a swing of things, I think you're going to really see the benefits from it.
Well, looking at the non-conference schedule, I mean, it's going to be, there's some big tests early. You
Right.
guys have Georgia, Purdue, Ole Miss. You've got
Right.
Alabama and Auburn both coming here, which is
Right.
awesome, and tickets are on sale for both of those games. I mean, just looking at the non-conference schedule, it's really challenging.
Yeah, it is, and I think that we went into this saying we got to challenge ourselves early on, because what that does is, like everybody else says, it prepares you for for the conference series coming up. So it just, it is hard, but that's what we want. We want these kids to get as much experience as they can, and we want big crowds to come in, and so we're really excited about having Auburn, Alabama come and join us here this year, and we'll see how it goes. Though I think we have a chance. Like I said, we're going to be really strong in the circle, and I think that if we can squeeze some runs through there, we're going to be fine.
And you guys are picked to win the SoCon, which is obviously exciting. I don't know if
Yeah.
you like the expectations or not. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm not real big in that. It's like
You got to play the games.
you do. I mean it's great, and it's good for our team and whatever it is. But I don't put a whole lot of into that. And I really hope our kids don't either. And we kind of say really it means nothing until you got there to perform. So for us, that just doesn't mean anything to us right now.
Yeah. What do you see from the rest of the league? I mean, obviously Greensboro is going to be pretty
Right.
good again.
Well, I think UTC is always going to be really strong. He does a great job of recruiting, and he really knows the game. He's been around it a long time. And then UNC Greensboro, let's be real. I mean, they lead the nation in home runs almost, a couple of years in a row. So, and I think, that Mercer and those guys, the middle of the pack, they're good teams. If you lay down, they're going to come and beat you. So you have to always be on your A game in our conference, I think.
Well, Coach, appreciate your time. We're
Yeah.
looking forward to getting it started.
Thank you. Me too. Go Bulldogs.
Opening it up this Friday against Seton Hall. Home opener next Friday at 4 p.m. against Ball State. That's a doubleheader here at Samford Softball Stadium. That'll do it for this edition of Inside Athletics, presented by Alabama Power.